we got to talk one seeds. I think right now, correct me if I'm wrong. I know, Jeff, you don't want Arizona as a one seed, but if you look at all of the bracketologists and you look at all the projections, it's pretty much a given that right now Gonzaga and Arizona are in all likelihood going to end up being two number one seeds. I think most people have Baylor as the third number one seed in their bracket projections. That leaves Auburn, that leaves Kentucky, that leaves Kansas, and that leaves Duke as the four teams that really have a shot to climb up to that one seed line.
Duke's got no shot now. Duke's got no shot now.
Yeah, Duke lost today, right? So that probably eliminates them from the conversation, which means we have Auburn, who beat South Carolina 82-71 today. We have Kansas, who knocked off Texas 70-63 in overtime. And we have Kentucky, who went into Gainesville and beat Florida 71-63. Jeff, I'm going to start with you on this. Don't bring up the Wisconsin stuff yet. We'll get into that in a minute. But out of those three teams, who do you think is the most likely to end up on the one seed line? And is that the same team that you would have there today?
So, like you said, Gonzaga, Arizona, I think are fine. Most people have them, even though I would not have Arizona. But Baylor, yes. Kansas, if they win the Big 12 tournament, I think they could knock Baylor off and take it. And I think whoever wins the SEC out of Kentucky or Auburn will get the other number one. I think that's what's going to happen. Duke, I think, is out. And again, I'm not even going to bother making the case for Wisconsin. I understand they're not going to be a number one. Personally, I think they should be, but I'm not going to waste everybody's time again with the fact that they clearly have the best resume of probably any of those teams.
RC, where are you at with it?
I think it's the winner of the Auburn, Kentucky. I don't think it changes. I agree with Jeff, except for the Wisconsin. Unless Wisconsin was to come out and win, I don't see how Wisconsin gets a one. I think it's a foregone conclusion. Arizona, Gonzaga, far away. Duke has no shot. I think it's the winner. The Auburn, Kansas again. If Baylor exits early, Kansas wins it. I think Kansas gets in, but it would have to be Baylor taking a first round early exit out of the tournament, and then I think Auburn, Kentucky win against the other one seed. The other one's against the two.
So I have a very hard time seeing Kansas climb up to the one seed line. And the biggest reason why is I don't know if they can jump past Kentucky. They lost by 800,000 points at home against Kentucky, right? They got smacked. They got embarrassed at home by Kentucky. And you're going to tell me that Kansas can climb up past them? Look, I get it. I understand the people that do the resumes and the brackets and all that stuff. I get it. You don't want just head-to-head samples are the worst possible sample when it comes to comparing two teams, right? You need
Why
to
are you doing it?
Well, you need to look at the whole body of work. And I think the whole body of work for both those teams are close enough that you need to go down to head-to-head to break a tiebreaker. And the head-to-head right now is Kentucky waltzing in the Fall-Gana Fieldhouse where nobody wins and beating them by 20 points. I don't see how you can put Kansas over Kentucky. And if you can't put Kansas over Kentucky and they're not in front of Kentucky right now, you're not in front of Baylor right now. That's a lot that they have to jump. So I don't know if I can see Kansas getting there. Baylor, I have questions about whether or not they can actually get it done. But they got like 11 quad one wins right now, man. Like that.
But if Kansas beats Baylor, so let's say Auburn beats Kentucky, and I don't even know. I haven't looked at the bracket, but let's say Auburn beats Kentucky and Kansas beats Baylor, and that's how it ends. You can make a case, is all we're saying. It's like you could clearly make a case that if Kansas wins the Big 12 tournament, beats Baylor in the championship game, and Auburn beats Kentucky, you can make a case.
Yeah, I could see the argument. The other question I have for you guys is with Baylor, right? We've seen what they are when they are at full strength, and we know how good they can be. They don't have Jonathan Chamwa-Chachua. LJ Cryer is, in my understanding, Jeff, you're more connected than I am, so correct me if I'm wrong. But my understanding is that it seems pretty unlikely that LJ Cryer will come back, and if he does, it's pretty unlikely that he will be at his LJ Cryer best, so to speak. So, without those two pieces, do you want to put that, like, is that something that will come into the minds of the committee when they're seating Baylor or no?
Yeah, it has to. Right? I mean, RC, like they lost their top big man and they've been without their leading scorer now, who's completely uncertain for the Big 12 and the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, I think absolutely if you're the committee, you can look at them and they've still been good late, but they started out 15-0, guys. They started out 15-0 and they've been, good, but not great since their injuries. So I don't. Again, I wouldn't probably put them at number one unless they win the Big 12 tournament. That's the only way I'm putting them as a number one seed.
That's right. And I don't think they will. I think the injuries will catch up with them. I think they're good enough to beat a couple of teams, and but I don't see them with the injuries even being a Final Four team.
Who do you think is the most dangerous? All right, forget where they're going to end up being seeded. You got those. We could throw Duke in that conversation as well. You got those 4 teams, right? Auburn, Kentucky, Kansas, and Duke. Who is the most dangerous? Who are you backing? Who do you think can go and make a run to the national title? RC, let's go with you first on that one.
I think Auburn. I think they're the healthiest of the group.
Ooh, really?
I think I think Kentucky. I don't. No, I think it's Auburn.
Why? Why not Kentucky?
Because I say this, when a game gets close and we can say if this guy played well, that guy played well, I think Jabari Smith's the best player on the floor. And he's just shown me the ability to get to his spots. He wants the ball in those moments. Like, give it to me. They ice on him at the elbow. They find a place to give it to him. He wants it, and he's the best player on the floor. He's not like Paulo Banchero, where he concerns me, where he's like tonight, not making perimeter shots, and then he has to go to his bully ball game. Jabari just does it effortlessly, and I think he's the best. I think he's the best player in the country.
Can I make one point on Jabari Smith real quick before you go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jabari Smith, his last 6 games, he's averaging 25 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, and shooting over 60% from 3. That dude has figured it out and put it together, and he's playing his best basketball right now heading into the month of March. That's dangerous.
Do you know who has not figured it out? Wendell Green. Wendell Green. He has not figured it out. So Jabari can figure it out all he wants. But at the end of the game, Wendell Green's got the ball in his hands, and he doesn't understand, I have to get the ball to this dude. That's the difference for me. Severe Wheeler understands who he needs to get the ball to. And that's critical for me. I just don't trust Auburn's point guard situation. And you know what matters to me? Point guard play. Point guard play.
And you trust Severe Wheeler? You trust him?
More than Wendell Green, because Severe Wheeler understands who he is.
He has to, because they're not going to guard him, right? And he's a good player. You're right. I give him credit for that, because I don't want to feel like I'm crushing the kid. But he has had some high turnover games where he's been questionable. But Auburn started figuring that out and giving it to him. They started giving it to Jabari and saying, Wendell Green, and they're going to need him to do that, because there's going to be a game in the tournament that he goes off and hits these wild contested shots, and we're going to be like, all right, he's starting to figure it out. And he gets going, and he does it. Go ahead.
And to Wendell's credit, he finished today 10 points, 7 assists, a big old goose egg in the turnover column, and he only took 7 shots, while Jabari got 12 off and got to
Who did they play again?
8 times.
Who did Auburn play?
A team that was 500 in the best conference in college basketball, according to John Calipari. And anybody that's 500 in the best conference in college basketball, according to John Calipari, should be in the NCAA tournament. So, therefore, South Carolina should be an NCAA tournament team, according to John Calipari. And we all know how much you respect John Calipari's basketball opinion.
Just wants Frank Martin to keep his job because he's not scared of Frank Martin down in South Carolina.
There you go. Well, why do you just assume that everything John Calipari says is spin? He might be being sincere. He might be.
John Calipari, Cal, and Rick Pitino. I've said, listen, when Pitino tweeted what he tweeted about Maryland, I'm happy at Iona. I'm not going to Maryland. I'm not the guy. Just remember, here's what I do with Rick Pitino. Whatever he says, I just flip it. I just flip it around. It's an easy thing.